that this podcast may contain adult themes. Okay.
Wow, I never knew how that song went. That was crazy.
Yeah. And Dinos does sing I Will Go Down with the Ship and the Eminem song. What happened to her? Who knows? I got no clue.
Okay, wait, hang on a second. This woman is responsible for Stan, which is where the word Stan came from. Yeah. And I Will Go Down with This Ship. She is a fandom queen. And everyone's Stan Dido.
Talks about her. It's crazy.
No one talks about her. I'm like, I will single-handedly bring back her fandom right now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to Stop Thinking Start Feeling. I'm Emily.
And I'm Emily.
Cool. Today, we're going to be talking about a very special episode of Life with Derek that is near and dear to everybody's hearts. Can you possibly guess what it is?
You don't have any more time. It's the party.
Wow. The clock was out like bad.
Yeah.
If you got it wrong, you can stop watching this video because you're not allowed to. So thanks so much for watching.
The party is a classic. It's the classic. Like it's
the classic.
It's crazy.
I think that no matter what your favorite episode of Life with Derek is, this is just collectively overall the best episode and the favorite episode. Like just
of the entire series.
In general. Yeah. Because it's so iconic.
It's so iconic. Actually, I didn't even think to look at this, but who wrote it? It was Jeff Peterman.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. I could have told you that without looking. Assumed. And despite us having seen it an infinite amount of times, we watched it again.
We did. And it did take us
for you guys.
Like 4 hours to watch.
Oh yeah. We took the research very seriously. Yeah. Maybe got a little sidetracked. Just a little bit with some
no sidetrack.
With some other things, but
not us.
Us?
Sidetracked? Never.
No.
Could not be me.
So I put all the notes in my phone and I will just they're sort of in order, I hope. And then we will just go through the episode and just talk about, iconic scenes, theories, mistakes. There are mistakes in this episode.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll just get right down to it. I kind of spit on myself a little bit just
that's
now.
Fine. So. Yeah, we love that. We love that. Sometimes you just gotta spit on yourself.
I love that for myself.
Sometimes you just gotta do that. It's called self-love.
But I don't know if I should love myself that much.
Just give it hydration.
Speaking of questionable substances on people's faces, let's talk about the party. You're not the only master of segues.
You're not the only master of segues.
I'm crying.
Let's just kid. There's no normal way to do this episode. So, as forementioned, the opening of this episode is Derek and Casey are sitting on the ground next to the toilet.
Gross.
Covered in a white
gross,
substance.
but
gross, and then gross. Yeah. And I know there's at least one image out there that like it has a picture of like at least Casey with like the shampoo on her head or whatever, and then it says something about
it's being
in reference to step siblings. That's to be expected. What can I say?
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy that they would open it
with
that way.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I'm like, back then, honestly, I don't know if step sibling porn was like
it wasn't
a thing. Was it? Okay, I don't think it was either. I'm not sure.
I mean, well, I don't know. I guess I probably wouldn't have known about it. I was kind of
That's true. I was like, there's no way to know. I guess I could look it up, but I'm like, what if somebody just saw the opening of the party and they're like, that's the new thing. Making Step-Sibling porn.
Well,
And then Derek and Casey were accidentally the blueprint. Love that for them.
I mean, people say that they were the blueprint. Like, people say that they were the blueprint. I'm not gonna lie. And
I'm like, they could also be the blueprint for that.
I mean, people involved in the show have said that.
Yeah, specifically a man.
Yeah, specifically.
Anyways,
someone
I'm
who
literally
is
looking up
awful.
when Step-Sibling porn started. Okay, if anything's weird, we got disconnected, but these are just the things that happen.
That's because we started talking about Step-Sibling porn.
We did, and the internet was like, shut up. But I do have to read, I did look it up because I was curious, and I just have to read this one thing, and then I will shut up about Step-Sibling porn. But I was just like, when did it become like popular? Because it started back in like the 70s. Like, obviously I knew it already existed probably. But it, as of 2016, the genre had been growing in popularity at a rate of 1,000% since 2011. Interesting time, and 178% since 2014, a spike that some industry professionals have attributed to female porn consumers who largely seek a content that is accompanied by a narrative. So, like, the highest demographic of people that watch like the Step-Sibling porn are women, and like specifically millennials. So yeah, I mean, great opening shot for this show.
Yeah,
it's perfect. But also it's like, I do like that they opened it with Derek and Casey like talking and like laughing together, because you literally are like
wait,
what's going on?
Yeah.
like you think it's a prank or something.
Yeah, it was like something up until this point, which is technically only like 2 episodes if you're watching it as it's airing.
Yeah, I think this was like the 3rd episode that aired.
Yeah. They hate each other,
Right.
Wink.
Yeah, the only time they ever got along was like the casserole Casey thing in the fall.
Yeah, in the fall. Yeah, that was the nicest part.
Right, and that was just because the parents were like, "Be nice to your stepsister."
Yeah.
But Derek was being genuinely nice in this episode. And it was like, okay, and then it was like,
then he pretended he wasn't, but
yeah, but we all know that he just is stupid.
Yeah, we all know he's dumb.
So this episode obviously jumps back and forth in time. I'm assuming you've all seen this.
Yeah.
Which is where some of the mistakes come from, but we'll come back to that later. So we open like that, and then we go all the way back to the beginning, where Derek and Casey are watching TV, or Casey's watching TV. Yeah. Derek comes in, grabs the remote out of her hand.
They start wrestling over there.
And you know what's crazy is like Casey doesn't even like rationally try to ask for it back or anything. She just lunges for that shit and starts immediately physically fighting with him. And I'm like, okay. And we were talking about how we don't even know who Casey was as a person before
Derek.
She lived with Derek. Yeah. I'm
like,
sure she wasn't this ruthless.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, who literally was she? And I mean, she seemed to present her, and the way she wants to seem and come off is like prim and proper and like bookworm and whatever. Like, I would never do anything wrong. But then like anytime that she's near Derek or Derek like antagonizes her, and he doesn't even really have to antagonize her.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have to do much, and she will she will flip her lid.
Exactly. And nothing else
I will
matters.
say we know that Casey had like some sort of spice to her, because in How I Met Your Stepbrother, like Nora was just like saying that Casey scares her.
Yes, true.
Because we know Casey is very controlling, but like whether she was like a physically violent person, I highly doubt that.
Yeah,
so.
And we don't even learn that until a while.
It's true. That's literally the last season.
So
wow.
But even then, like, I mean, there's some stuff like that. Like, something that sticks out to me is when I think it's not Fright Night. What's the other one where they're both crazy and doing things? Freaked Out Friday. Freaked Out Friday. I always get those names mixed up. Fright Night.
I see why. There's fries in both.
Yeah, and they have like a flashback to like Casey like always.
Oh right, they're like their old apartment or whatever.
Their old apartment or whatever. And it's like always kind of just being a nightmare to have to deal with.
And apparently they were British.
Yeah, and they're British. Oh god, it was funny.
But even when we see Casey, like supposedly what Casey looked like before the room, she does still seem like a nice person. Like, I mean, yeah, she's annoyed about her mom getting married, but it's like she's nice to Ralph, and it's like, I don't know, she's nice. But Derek brings out a side of her that's
she always puts her best foot forward, and except for with Derek.
Except for Casey and Derek. Okay, anyways. So they're like full on wrestling. They like fall to the floor wrestling. Like they're like on top of each other wrestling, which is kind of foreshadowing, honestly, if you think about it. And then like the parents come in and they're just like, and I'm just like they were practically in each other's laps. And then the parents come in and they're just like, oh, you guys, why do you always have to fight? Type of thing. And I'm just like, hello? Like, I mean, I used to fight with my brother like that, but we were literally probably like 7 or 8 years old. Like, not at 15.
15.
Not at 15 am I wrestling on the ground with my brother.
No. And it's like, why? Like, actually, why? And then they're... I can't do it. It just is insane. Like, they just need to be, like, touching each other. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is one of the most touchy episodes. Like, there's not a single scene where they don't touch each other.
Basically.
Which, I mean, is pretty common, but it's like, I feel like this one is just like overtly
it's like what, guys, calm down.
Yeah, it's like, and do I need a restraining order?
I need a restraining order from them, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Collectively.
So the line, we were talking about this line for a hot minute, when Casey says, Mom, Derek and I don't like each other, and we will continue to fight and not like each other. You continue the line. You're so good with it. You memorized it.
We will continue to fight and not like each other until I go to university, and Derek sits on this couch deciding which correspondence career path to take.
Derek and I don't like each other.
Yeah, won't fight with you there.
And we will continue to fight and not like each other until I leave for university while Derek sits on this couch deciding which correspondence career path to take.
Nailed it! Which is also insane because they go to college together and they don't even know. And neither do we, because we never got to see it. And I won't bring it up. And I won't talk about it.
They don't even know. And when we're watching it, well, I didn't watch it live, but when we're watching it live, we don't even know.
Yeah, it's true.
It's crazy.
It's true. Because honestly, I really never saw Derek going to college.
I agree. I didn't.
And he only went
for a while.
I think in large part due to Casey, because Casey
1000% he only went
she like
because of
carried
Casey.
him through school, and then he's like, okay, well, I got this far. I guess I might as well.
Yes. Yeah. And then he only decided to go. Well, we're not talking about futuritis.
Yeah, I know. It's like, we'll talk about futuritis on another day, but it's like, yes, he went to college because of Casey. Period.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this scene is like really intense because it's just like she says this. Mm-hmm. She says Derek and I don't like each other, and then he's like, yeah, I won't fight with you there. He's like looking at her like, so he's almost looking at her like how he looked at Sam in Mail Code Blue, like just like the
intense hurt and angry.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just like intense anger and like something else, and it's just like he's just this man is. I feel like this man's so conflicted. Like, he only knows to turn to anger because he's just like, I can't, like...
He's never had to, like, deal with his own emotions before.
Oh, so
like,
true.
Growing up with Edwin and George, specifically George being his like, role model or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, really,
George is a very, like, sweep it under the rug.
Yes. Like, he's caring, but, like, that's not all you need to be. Like, you need to understand that, like, emotions are okay and you need to feel them, and you also need to, like, work through them.
Yes, and he needed Abby in his life like a little bit more than he did.
And it's like and he just didn't, he was never able to process his own emotions. And so when he's feeling like conflicted because he's just like, oh my god, like, she just said we don't like each other, which is like so true. Obviously, like, we don't like each other.
But I feel like he also was hurt by that.
Exactly. He's like, of course we don't like each other, but also like, hey, Why don't you
Like,
pick
hey, what do you
me?"
mean? That has been the issue from the start, though, because
Yeah.
it's like Derek is used to everyone liking him.
Yes,
So it's
so-
like Casey not liking him bothers him, but he can't figure out why it bothers him
Yes.
this much.
Right, exactly.
And it's because he's in love with her. But anyways,
we all know.
I digress. And then, okay, so like the scene, like the tension is like crackling in the air, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then it's just like they're like, okay, well,
What's
we're gonna
wrong
say,
with
oh, Mrs.
being
Higginbotham.
sick?
What's wrong with being sick? I spit again. I'm getting too passionate, and I need to calm down.
You're allowed to spit.
I guess so. But yeah, so they're like, we're gonna hire Mrs. Higginbotham, and they're like, the hell, no, you won't.
Mrs. Higginbotham?
Mrs. Higginbotham, Mom, I'm not sick.
She's like,
What's
she was
wrong
like,
with being sick?
she was like,
I'm 15. I've been babysitting since I was 12.
I'm like, that's
Yeah.
3 years. You need to calm down.
I know, but everyone, like, when you're a teenager,
Oh.
you think that like a year is like 50.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. You're like, I have
I
so
got
much
lifetime
experience.
knowledge. Yeah, exactly. But you know, it is kind of crazy to be babysat at the age of 15. That is a little.
I agree,
insane.
100%.
But I can understand why George and Nora
Yeah,
would
I mean,
not
there's,
trust them
there's
to be
3
alone.
younger
They were,
kids, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
there's 3
Like,
younger kids they have to be in charge of, and they were just wrestling on the ground for a piece of plastic.
True,
so
true. They
not very
definitely had their
reliable.
reasons. They had their reasons.
True. And so then immediately they're snapping to like, oh, we can get along.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then Derek as he's handing Casey back the remote, like slides over the arm of the couch and then just like practically sits in her lap.
And puts his
Like-
arm around her.
Like fully, like I don't even think that anyone can fully understand how crazy this is.
There will definitely be video.
For sure.
Like,
But-
it's crazy.
It's just like he could have. Why did he have to slide into a crevice about this big to sit next to her? He could have just walked around and sat next to her normally.
So well, I'm sitting on her lap.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. And then they were just like smiling. And then when they like pretended and then they smiled at George and Nora, it's like George and Nora looked even more worried and like, I
Yeah.
totally get it.
They were like, wait, this isn't what we wanted. Wait, we want you to get along, not together.
Right, exactly. It's like they can never find the balance. Like it's either too much or not enough at all.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's an iconic. I feel like I see that GIF like everywhere
Yes.
of just the arm around and there's like smiling. Oh, it's so cute. I just
Anyway,
I hate
so
them.
cute. I hate them so much.
Because it's like, even though we all know they're faking, duh. It's like that is the first time we see them
like that,
like
close,
like that.
like that.
Yeah, like outside of a blue screen.
Yeah.
Right. Which the blue screens
Don't
is the
count.
next thing I wrote down, and blue screens go crazy in
They
this
do.
episode.
They go crazy and they don't count. It's crazy.
They don't, but if any blue screens could count, I wish it was the ones in this episode. There's
for
just
sure.
so much touching, and I feel like I didn't write down exactly what the first one we saw is, but I think it's like Derek and Casey are like fighting,
yeah.
but then they like stop, and then she like rests on his shoulder. Yeah. And then they're pretending like, oh, we're not fighting.
Yeah, we're
LOL.
totally getting along.
But it's just like just more. It's literally just the scene we just watched, but like replayed through the blue screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool, we get it.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for
get it.
showing us more touching.
you.
Really appreciate that.
Thanks. Needed that.
And I don't know if we brought this up on the podcast before, but like we see the blue screens as like Derek and Casey's thoughts, basically. Like definitely Casey's because she narrates the show pretty much, but like it's just what they. I don't know what they want.
It's like a manifestation. It's like like a manifestation of their thoughts in like the barest form.
Literally, because it's just the blue background.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes they have other things going on.
Random props.
In season 3 and stuff.
Yeah, when they got the budget for it. But anyway, I think I wrote down a few more blue screens, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, so the next scene I wrote about, I don't even know if this is the next scene, but it's the only one that matters. Okay, so Casey is on the phone with Emily, and then Derek comes in. Wait. She's not on the phone with Emily. No,
she's not.
Studying.
She's just like,
I was thinking of the other. Other episode
on the ground on the bed.
He comes in. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, when that episode where she's on the phone with Emily, which I think is Puppy Dog Tales, because it's the one where Derek like swims in Emily's pool or whatever.
Yes,
he comes in like the same way. Like he just comes in and sits down in that
Emily
desk chair,
staring at me while
swimming, while he's like shoveling cereal into his mouth.
Emily, can you tell her to like stop staring at me when I swim?
Hold on, Em.
That's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
I love
so he
that
comes
one.
in, but he comes in and he sits in her desk chair, and she's studying on her bed. So she's like laying down on her stomach, and he comes in, and then he's sliding the chair closer even before he sits down. He's sliding it as close as he can, and then he sits down and he scoots himself forward. He's literally like Casey's on the edge of her bed. Like her head is like at the edge of her bed, and he scoots all the way up to her bed. And he's leaning, I'm gonna show it. He's leaning on the chair like this. He's leaning on the chair like this into her face. Like they're conspiring. I'm like, no one's listening to you guys right now. Like your parents are 2 floors down. Like they don't even know what you're saying. And he's just like trying to convince her that, you know, they have to get along so that they don't get a babysitter or whatever. But it's like, the way they're looking at each other in this scene is so insane.
It's intimate, and for what? Like, why? Yeah. They're literally just talking. What's going on?
It literally looks like they wanted to kiss. Like, I know it always looks like they want to kiss, but like specifically in this scene, it's just like, why did he lean? He leans like so close to her face. And she's like, she's like smiling up at him. Like,
she's like.
They both smile at each other. The scene ends and they're both just smiling at each other. No words. They're smiling and looking at each other. And I'm like,
it's
hello?
Like, what happens after this?
That's what I was doing. I hate when scenes end like that. Yes. I hate when scenes end like this because I'm like, no, you can't just stop there. Like, there's no way he just got up.
Like, is it an awkward leaving or what happened here? I needed to.
It's like they stared at each other too long, and then Derek was like, "Okay, well, I feel like he picked up one of her books and just threw it across the room." Just to like balance himself out.
It was just like, I thought you wanted us to get along. He's
like in front of the parents only. Like, fuck you.
He's like, not in private. No, we don't do that.
Like, I don't like the tingling sensation that I'm feeling right now. Go.
Also, like, I don't know if you is that the end of the scene notes that you have for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was gonna mention the
like the same scene.
Yeah. In the same
scene. I was just about to say the when she's. When she says,
"You think we can solve our differences just like that?"
He pauses. And he goes,
"No, but we can pretend to."
But we can pretend.
He's so upset.
And we can pretend to. And he, of course, leans forward again, and you're just like
smirking into her face. Oh my god, I hate him. Oh my god, I hate him.
You mean hold our noses and get
along? And you said that his no was giving the you're right from Futuritis. And you're so right.
Yes, it literally is. It's so like
right.
He's literally, and the pause of it all, and he looks sad. Like, he looks sad about it. He's like, you know what? No, we can't solve all of our differences that easy because literally I'm in love with you, but that's fine. And then, and like in Futuritis, it's the same thing. And he's just like, same difference. And he's just like,
it's like he regretfully has to agree with her, but he doesn't want to.
Exactly.
Same difference.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, there's just so much tension in every single scene.
I mean, true.
It's insane.
This episode specifically, but like in every scene ever. But
every scene ever. But like literally, this whole episode is just like all the scenes are like, what's gonna happen next?
1000%.
I wrote down this scene makes me want to rip my skin off and wear it.
Rip it off and then put it back on. That would be more comfortable.
I think that's a pretty accurate description of how I was feeling.
I'm now more comfortable having this skin up and put it back on.
I just gotta know that I can take it off again. Like, it just needs to be a layer I can shed. And then right after that scene is the hug.
Oh yeah, the blue screen hug. Yeah.
The blue screen hug, because obviously, why would it be a real hug? We're never getting that.
No real hugs for us.
No real hugs for us. We don't even get crumbs. We don't even get crumbs of a real hug. Like, well, we kind of do. Like, was it Futuritis? Where like,
yeah, where
it was like, it's always the group hugs.
Yeah,
the group
it's always
hugs,
a group
but
hug.
those don't count either.
They really don't.
And it's like, we paused like on this hug and talked about it for so long.
We really did.
And it's just like, we talked about how like we literally do not see this as like our brains. There's something about the blue screen that's like magical, where it like your brain automatically is just like, okay, this isn't real, so don't actually process that it's happening.
Yeah.
And so it's just like we see them hug, but it's like they didn't actually hug, and we know that, and we're not falling for it.
Exactly. And it's just like how Michael and Ashley hug. It's like it's just like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's not Derek and Casey in real life in the show.
Exactly. We can tell the difference. Okay, there's no fooling us.
Those are clones.
That really does. That feels like what it is. Like the clones. The clones are doing the blue screens, and that's why it doesn't hit as hard.
They're robots.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
They have no feelings.
They didn't have a budget for props, but they had a budget for animatronics.
It's like Chuck E. Cheese style animatronics. It's just like, oh yes, let's hug awkwardly.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it is like that, and like the hug is so awkward. Like it's really like awkward. A side hug.
Yeah, and they're just like staring forward into the camera.
Right. The only thing that's weird about it, their faces are touching, which is weird. It's like I don't hug my siblings cheek to cheek, but you do you.
But right there, I guess.
Yeah. So it was like. It was like weird in that sense, but it was still just like, I don't know. And then like Casey pushes him away.
Yeah, and it was just like, ew. Like, ew. Yeah.
But honestly, like the push, like how quickly they separate is like,
it's like why,
really like indicative of like how they're feeling, because they're just like, ew, why do I like this? And they're like, get off.
Yeah, it's like, calm down. Actually, it's not gonna like a hug is not gonna kill you.
Yeah, they act like they have cooties. Like,
and it's like
they literally act like they're 5 years old. Like
we cannot hug for more than 2 seconds, or else we will just do it on the floor. So it's fine.
Yeah, no, so true, so true. And then they just resort to being children, and they're just like, ew, gross.
Ew.
And
I'm
it's
gonna pull your hair.
Yeah. Or your ear.
Your ear. Oh my God.
Season 1 and season 2 intro that I hate.
I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna vomit.
I can't even watch that part of the intro. When I know the ear tug is coming up, I look away because I'm just like, this will end my life. Actually,
why
if I watch
they do that? I
know why.
I refuse.
Why did they do? Like, it's. I think the intro tells you more than the show could ever tell you.
True.
Like, you watch it and you're just, because he's like. That's literally how boys pick on girls in like kindergarten.
Yeah,
exactly. And when they like them, and then like he also like picks her up and like throws her around.
That it shouldn't happen. However,
no, that's bad.
This is a fake show, just so you know.
It is, and like in the time period, that is literally
it just is what they did. So it's like hello, and even like I just can't. I hate it. And then he picks her up.
I know.
Like, I don't even.
Yeah, he picks her up. Yeah. It's disgusting.
I don't even like him.
And just the look on his face, like the look on his face, like he's just so happy how upset I can't. It's just
that's the worst part. That is the worst part.
His stupid face is always the worst part. Okay.
You're right. His stupid face is always the worst part.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I'm suing Michael Cedar.
It's so true. And we will do it one day when we collect enough money. So the next scene is Derek and Casey I feel like I'm probably maybe skipping scenes, but also I don't think I am, because I don't think there was really a B plot going on here, because it was just like
Yeah,
George and
there
Nora
really
leaving, and
wasn't.
that was it.
Yeah.
So it probably is the next scene.
Yeah.
But they're in the morning. It's the next morning, and they're pretending to get along. So then George and Nora will be like, "Oh, they're so responsible," even though that's so stupid and like who would fall for that? But okay, so just immediately right off the bat, we need to discuss how Casey's like, "Would you like mustard or mayonnaise on your sandwich?"
Derek, would you like mustard or mayonnaise on your sandwich?
Both, please. And would you like soy milk in your cereal?
Yes, thank you, I would.
And it's just like, I know that that's like, those are two like common condiments for a sandwich, but it's like in Life with Luca, we blatantly just see mayonnaise and mustard on the island.
Yeah, kitchen island.
And it's like, is this a callback? Like, I feel like it has to be. And then...
And he says, both, please.
Both, please. He's like, and you want soy milk on your cereal, right? Or whatever. Like, he already knows.
Yeah. And she says, yes, thank you, I would.
Yeah, no. And she was low-key actually thrilled that he knew that.
So true.
That wasn't even acting. Wow. She was like, oh my God, Derek, how'd you know?
No, oh my God.
And Derek is thinking, no one else drinks this shit in the fridge.
So true.
For you.
Yeah. The only reason we buy soy milk is you.
Yeah, literally. But it's still cute, even though it's obviously so fake. Like, and we don't want Derek and Casey to interact like this all the time because that's not Derek and Casey.
It's not them, yeah.
But like to see it for a few seconds is pretty adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, George. There's like this running. What?
Yes, thank you, I would.
Yes, thank you, I would.
Can't stop saying it.
Honestly, you're slaying that line. You deliver it so well. There's like this
Casey's
running.
Lines.
I love Casey. Well, Casey's lines in this episode are iconic.
Exactly. Trying to get people out of here.
I'm trying to get people out of here. I think. Okay, what else do I have about the scene? So pretty much, there's like this running underlying story where George like expects more from Derek, but he also doesn't expect anything from him because he's used to Derek pretty much being like I don't want to say a disappointment. Like, I feel like a disappointment is like a strong thing, but also like honestly it's true.
It is true.
But he's definitely just like kind of written off any attempts that Derek has at being left alone. He's like, LOL, you're immature and stupid, and I'm not gonna do that. And we can see that Derek's like upset. Yeah. Because I can't remember exactly what George said. But Derek, like, when they were getting breakfast ready. But, like,
he said, Derek, can you set the table? And he said, I am setting the table? And he's like, yes. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you guys are having your early morning fight. What's going on?
You guys are acting like you're married. What's going on?
Oh, Derek, can you set the table?
I am setting the table.
Yeah, you are setting the table. You two aren't having your early morning fight. What's going on?
He's like, Nora and I just got done with our morning fight in the bed downstairs.
And then they promptly made up.
But they came up the stairs and they just kept looking at each other.
Yeah, I'm just saying like how Nora looked at George, like she wanted to climb him.
Dude, she was literally like, hey, George, like it was just crazy.
Wow.
Oh, wow, so funny. It's like, what is that? What is that? Like they have an early morning fight. Every day?
Every morning.
Crazy.
Every morning.
Insane that...
But not even every morning. Every afternoon, every night. Every
so true.
hour of the day.
They have a fight each meal time.
Yeah. They have an alarm that goes off every 5 minutes and they're like, it's time to fight. And then a bell goes off. They can stop the bell in the dining room. It's like, ding, ding, round one.
I love it.
I think they're secretly enjoying getting along. Well, at least Derek is secretly enjoying them getting along, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I wrote it down, but we talked about how like Nora like didn't even really leave the room.
Yeah.
And then immediately Derek and Casey are already fighting again.
Think you can tone it down a bit? They're gonna know we're acting.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
And then it's like Nora is standing right there. She never left. She heard everything you said. And then they're just like, oh, well, we were fighting. And then she leaves. And then they shove each other for literally no reason. Because they have to touch.
They said, this is our early morning fight because we can't do it.
Exactly. Well, it's like, it's like Derek automatically, has to touch Casey at every opportunity. And it's him that shoves her first. He just shoves her.
True.
And then because he shoves her, she's like, I'm going to shove you back.
Yeah, literally.
And it's like, like, dude.
I don't even like them.
Get a hold of yourself, sir. There are better ways to express your feelings. Express
your feelings.
Your feelings. So yeah, and then they're in the living room and they're still hamming it up. And he was like, oh no, what do you want to watch? Like, oh no, I insist. It's disgusting, honestly.
Yeah.
I insist. LOL. And then Casey is just makes this face. I love this face that Casey makes when he's like, I insist. And she's smiling, but her eyes go wide. She's literally tone it down.
Yeah. She's like, please stop. I'm gonna kill you. She's like, this is just us fighting in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, this is actually more annoying than how we normally fight, and I don't like it. And then George and Nora, who weren't even in the room, so why were they hamming it up so hard?
Yeah.
Come in the room, and they're like, okay, well, obviously you're pretending to get along, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then Nora, so Joy... Joy was pregnant during season 1, and you know how sitcoms variously find ways to just hide the pregnant belly, but it's just wild. Nora comes in and sits next to Casey and just insert picture here, honestly.
Yeah, I was just like, why did she do it like this? I don't know if they've directed her to do it or if she decided to do it like that.
Yeah. Either way, it looks very uncomfortable.
It looks so uncomfortable. And it's like, she's pregnant.
She's pregnant and she's curling her knees up. Yeah. And she has her sneakers on. Your sneakers are on the couch. What's happening?
She's literally squatting on the couch.
She's literally squatting on the couch.
On her feet. And I'm like, what? Just grab a pillow.
She could have just grabbed a pillow. Literally just grab a pillow. I don't understand
why
they
went that direction.
There are other
times when she does do that. So
it's true.
It's crazy. But
she was just trying to give options, but that was, I don't know. I felt so bad for her. I was
Me too. I'm like, that's gotta be uncomfortable. I don't even want to do that, and I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I would have to, if I was pregnant, I feel like I would have to pee immediately. So
right.
It's squishing my entire body together.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, then they're like, okay, fine, we'll let you guys. They take Marty, which I feel so bad for them because it's
too. The whole point was for
reason they were going.
Yes, so it was for you to get a honeymoon, and this is not a honeymoon.
Yeah,
with a 6-year-old.
With a 6-year-old.
That's crazy. You would have a better honeymoon with one of them, one of the older kids.
Yeah, because at least they can go off and do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there was really no reason for them to leave if they were just going to experience the exact same thing.
Exactly.
But whatever.
Yeah.
So Lizzie and Edwin get left there, and but yeah, I didn't even write this down either, but I just remember Nora, after they agreed to let the kids all stay at the house. I remember Derek and Casey look at each other they're really happy because they're just we won. And it was the first happy conspiratorial look they gave to each other because it was
and
then I bet literally, and then I bet afterwards they were just okay, wait a second, don't act too excited.
Yeah, but also they were smiling like that, and it's a stupid face. Well, I don't know if you're gonna get to that, because George was like,
this is a big step for you two, so you better make the most of it.
Oh, trust me, Daddy. We will.
We will. There's a lot of we's and us's suddenly flying out of Derek's mouth in this episode.
Yeah, he's like...
suddenly him and Casey are a joint team.
Yeah.
Love that, honestly. And I know that he knows what's about to happen and he wants
To throw
I think
a
he wants.
party.
He wants the parents to associate them as a joint unit to be like, oh well, this is also going to be Casey's fault
Casey's
too.
fault, yeah.
But they would never expect that of Casey because she's too good.
Yeah.
And I think that Derek just likes saying we. Anyways.
Yeah.
But then Nora wants to watch a Hugh Grant movie with Casey.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how hot he is, and Derek is like, ew. And he like leaves
He leaves,
immediately.
yeah.
He's like, I gotta go.
She's like, don't tell Georgie, but I like you. I love it so much.
Incredible. I hope that they watch. I'm like thinking of the Hugh Grant movies, and I'm like, 2 Weeks Notice is an Enemies to Lovers, and I wish that Derek could stay in the room if that was what was playing.
Yeah.
Although I don't even know if that was out at the time, but anyways.
I don't know.
The next scene is a blue screen, and it's them dancing.
Love that.
Totally normal.
Totally normal.
To happen.
They dance so much for some reason, but
Yeah,
that's
they
fine.
do. They really do dance a lot
They
together.
dance so much. It's
Like
crazy,
a lot.
and I don't appreciate it.
Insert random pictures of Tuesday Afternoon Fever, and then take them away.
That's it. I'm gonna die. I don't even want to talk about it.
So they're like dancing, and then once again, Derek. I mean, I know this is blue screen, but it's like Derek spins Casey off, and then we hear like a crash sound or whatever. He literally cannot handle. Like he initiates the physical touch, but then he literally can't handle it, and he's like, "Why did I do this?"
He's like,
Get
away from me, please.
and it's just like, dude, make up your freaking mind already.
So true.
Okay, but then so the next scene, parents are leaving.
Yep.
And
Adios.
Parents.
Derek.
The other, that was like the other episode that never aired. Adios, parents. Adios, Giorgio.
Adios, Giorgio.
¿Cómo está, Giorgio?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, they leave, and then Derek is immediately like, Edwin and Lizzie, stay upstairs. Casey, stay out of my sight. And he's wearing, we just talk about the green shirt because the green shirt needs the moment.
The green shirt.
The green shirt, everybody. I bet anyone could just remember where they were when they saw this episode and they saw the green shirt. Like, I feel like everyone just was at a certain place and they were just like, interesting.
I like this for some reason.
Like, I'm kind of obsessed with this. And I think that the writers like the Derek knew it too. I think they knew how special it was because he never wears it ever again. I'm trying to think, like, maybe if he like layered it with something, we couldn't really tell he was wearing it.
But I don't know, it's a very distinct green.
It is.
So
it was an interesting choice.
I feel like it wouldn't really match a lot of things. You know what I mean?
I think so too. And I like joked that he like hung it up in his closet, like still covered in like shampoo and just leaves it in the back of his closet and just like remembers.
Yeah, he does.
When he got locked in the bathroom with Casey. But
he's like, best week or best day of my life, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said week. I don't know where that came from.
Best, well, I mean, the timestamps. It could have been a week for all we know.
So true. No one even knows.
But yeah, there's something about the green shirt that literally just like, I don't know. It's like Derek's confidence is like maxed out or something. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a superpower or something like that. I don't really know. But he tells Edwin and Lizzie to like go upstairs because he doesn't want them to be at like a teenager's party. Right. But like he doesn't tell Casey to leave. Like I feel like he could have easily been like you and Emily like go to Emily's house or something. Yeah, or go stay in your room or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just said stay out of my sight. Like he said, you can join the party, just don't come near me because I will.
I just don't want to be able to see you because I will be distracted. And
everyone will see how I act around you, and I don't want that to happen.
Want that. And then it does actually.
Yeah, and then he spends the whole party with her, but whatever.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
It's chill. It's all chill.
Chill.
Okay, this is a big thing that we freaked out about when we watched it. Is not the look that Derek gives her when the kids like after they've come in, you know, it's so iconic when
It's
he like
so iconic.
turns around and he looks at Casey's reaction for how he just started a party and like she's
starts,
like
and
the music is
it's
iconic.
just so good.
And it's just like the look on his face is like, yeah, that's literally one of the most iconic moments ever, and like he slayed that. But the moment right before,
right as Edwin is opening the door, and Casey says, because Casey says, like, Emily's coming over, we're watching movies. And he's like, well, you might want to bring the TV upstairs because I kind of need the space. And she's like,
she's like, for what?
And then Edwin is opening the door because the doorbell rang in the middle of all that. Mm-hmm. And he opens the door and Derek, it just looks at Casey.
Yeah, like, the camera shot is crazy because it's just like, it's like right up on Derek's face, and then you see like the kids like shuffling in behind him, but it's just like he's gazing at her. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it.
What?
No,
and
literally.
He doesn't answer her, and then the people shuffle in or whatever, and he doesn't answer her, and he just like then he walks over to them and is like, hey, blah, 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 and then
the smirk comes back on, and
then the smirk comes back on, and the music starts, and he looks.
But the look before the smirk is like, it's because we don't see Casey's face, but we just assume that she's not looking at him because she's too busy focused on the strangers coming into her house.
Yeah.
And so while she's not looking at him, he's literally looking at her like, I want to kiss you.
Literally. And you're just like, why? Why are you thinking at her like this?
It's crazy. And then he like puts the mask back on and he's like, I'm Derek again.
Yeah, I'm Derek again. But then he like goes over and talks to or whatever, like welcomes them, and then like looks back at her. And I mean, he could kiss her then too, but it's not the same. It's like, I'm gonna kiss you out of dominance now. Exactly.
It's like he slipped earlier and he was like, wow, you're so pretty.
Yeah. Ooh, she asked me a question, but I don't even know what she said.
I know he literally didn't hear it. He didn't hear it.
And then he's like, oh wait, yeah, people are coming. I'm having a party. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is pissing her off. I forgot. Okay, yeah.
Right, and then he has to go back into character, and it's just like,
he's like,
hello.
He's like, yeah, I did that. Like, that's literally his face. His face is, yeah, I did that. I threw a party.
I just want to say, like, I think that Michael Cera should have gotten an Emmy for this episode. His facial expressions are insane. This man is communicating without even speaking. Okay,
so
and that's a gift. But yeah, that's
so good. And just to like talk about this moment even a little bit more, even though we've talked about it so much, but
it's fine.
It's like, I always think about the party, and I've said this before, that the party is like a teen movie because it's so, it just has that vibe, a 2000s teen movie specifically, but where it just has that vibe of like a house party. I mean, it literally is. It just is a teen movie. But like, not, like, you can have a house party in a TV show and it not feel like that. But like the music,
the house parties you see now are like the ones in like Euphoria, and like everyone's just like snorting crack, and it's like really heavy hip hop music. Which is fine. Like, you know, whatever. The generations change.
Surely. Yeah, exactly.
But like early 2000s, like super late 90s rom-com type of teenage parties just hit.
Yeah, it was like the tamer version of that, like of a movie of that, like that type, because I mean they have whipped cream shots instead of
whipped cream shots. That's crazy.
But it's just like, it's crazy, but like specifically
maybe they were like secretly doing like whippets.
That's actually crazy. They're like, okay, they did the whippets, and then they're like, actually, just give me some whipped cream, actually. You know?
Exactly.
Love it. What? I never even thought about that. But like specifically that moment where he turns, it looks at Casey.
Hey, how you doing? All right, drinks are back there.
Ooh,
it's
like
perfect.
it's so
It's
perfect. The
perfect.
music is perfect. Everything about it is perfect, and it's such a teen movie moment. And you're just like, I
It
want to
is.
die. I want to die. This is perfect.
And we were talking about how we wanted, like, this episode could have been the length of a teen movie. And we, like, it was like, it happened in real time. Because, like, honestly, the actual length of what happened was, like, close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it could have been a movie. It could have been
a movie that just happened in real time. And that would have been freaking awesome because there's so many parts of this episode that we never see. We don't know what happened.
Yes.
And that's upsetting. Yeah. We will get to that, obviously.
Well,
but
first
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We've already got to one, which is what happened after the freaking conversation.
Exactly.
But yeah.
It's like, what happens after? Hello? Like, do they just sit in limbo and stare at a wall? Like, I don't understand.
I need to know.
Anyway. I'm not upset. Right after the kids leave the room, Edwin looks into the camera.
Directly into the camera. It's
actually really iconic.
It's like Derek looks at Casey. Casey looks like just in general, like in
Lizzie's like looking at the situation.
Yeah, Lizzie looks at Casey because she sees she's like freaking, freaking mad about it, and then Edwin was looking at Casey, but then he looks just directly at the camera.
Yeah, he pans straight to camera. It's giving The Office. Yeah. Honestly iconic. Okay, so then Emily comes in. I'm wearing sweats.
I'm wearing sweats.
And
I thought we were watching a movie. I'm wearing sweats.
Yeah, I'm like, they're both wearing sweats. It's like, hello, do you not notice?
Exactly.
Obviously, we won't notice what Casey's wearing because she's
so
they're all self-absorbed. So neither of them would notice.
Yeah.
At least she brought over,
Twizzlers,
some candy to share. Yeah. Assuming to share, I don't know. But then Derek comes up and literally doesn't look at Emily at all. Doesn't even look at her remotely. Just grabs him out of her hand. And then she's like, "Hey, Derek, cool party." And he's like, "Thanks."
Walks away.
It's exactly how in the room when he walks past and he's just like, "Sup," doesn't look at her once.
Yeah, not like once. He's like, I don't care about you.
And I just realized that like he also like squeezed in between Casey and Emily.
Yes.
And there's like this running thing. I mean, the whole show, but it's like Derek always like
if there's
takes the smallest path that he can find near Casey.
Near Casey. It's like there could be so much room behind Casey, in front of
they could be in the back rooms. They could be in the back rooms. And Derek would be like
Casey, hey, get out of my way.
She'd be leaning on the wall and he'd be like going behind her. Like, he's insane. And I just realized that, like, I don't even have that for that part, but it's like, why did he have to walk between Casey and Emily? And it's like, yeah, I know he took her Twizzlers, but it's just like they were still standing close to each other.
Ugh, I don't even like
But
him.
honestly, it's like Derek is taking food from Emily, not even looking at her, right?
Yep.
And it's just like this, he doesn't look at her for like probably the whole first season, honestly.
At all.
But it's like when Derek first meets Casey, like one of the first things he does on the first day they meet is offer her food, which is crazy. Like, it's just the complete opposite. And it's like,
I want to die.
It's just like, obviously Emily will never be Casey. I'm so sorry. And
it's
to Derek,
cake.
I mean,
like, what the
it's chocolate cake.
Come on.
It's chocolate cake. That's a big thing to share. Like, off of your own fork. Like, Twizzlers is just like everyone can grab out of the same bag.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but that sounds like some lovey-dovey stuff.
It really does. It's giving wedding day.
It's giving
wedding day reception.
It's giving the lovey-dovey stuff that happens next.
And that's why I didn't want to tell the story in the first place.
Yeah, and the reason I didn't want to tell the story is because of all the lovey-dovey stuff that happens next. You should really try this.
I don't feel like everything relates back to How I Met Your Stepbrother. Like,
really
literally everything.
Well, I mean, it is how they met. So.
It is. I mean, yeah, it is. But I'm just like, it's crazy because it happened like the episode happens much later. So Derek is like ignoring Casey a little bit. He's still getting the party kind of set up. But then it's like they go into the kitchen And then this is when the whipped cream shots are happening, or the whippets, or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
And so these three guys are like lined up on the counter, and one dude is like spraying whipped cream in their mouth.
Yeah,
There's like two people having a conversation over here. There's some dude at the sink. And then we were like, we know that this time lapse situation happens, but we were honestly like, let's watch this a couple times and see.
Yeah, like how long would this actually have taken?
Right, like
in real
what
time.
actually changes in the scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's crazy, because it's like he puts his arm around her, right?
Yeah.
And what does he say right before the time lapse happens?
Casey, calm down. They won't even know it's just a few friends.
Definitely mid-sentence.
Yeah.
And he puts his arm around her.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the sentence, the time lapse happens.
Yeah.
And
then they're just staying there in the kitchen.
But like the thing is so crazy is like, I mean, yeah, we already knew like a lot of extra people enter the scene if you're just like watching it normally.
Yeah.
But like when you're actually paying attention, you pointed out that the people that are getting the whippets, I'm gonna call them, are completely different people. It's not even the same three guys.
People.
Three new people getting whipped cream. The two girls behind them are now talking to two other people.
Yeah.
So more people have joined them. There's like another person at the sink
On
now.
The other side, there's other people
and I'm
on
just
the
like
left or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, a bunch of people have joined the scene, and just like the fact that, and the song has changed. The song has changed.
They won't even know it's just a few friends. And a few friends.
So just the fact the song has changed, and the fact that those three guys had to get up and then get switched by three other guys.
Yeah.
Is too long to be stuck mid-sentence.
Yeah,
with your arm around her.
With your arm around her. And why did you do that?
And why?
Like, why did you put your arm around her in the first place?
And why?
And then
it's like, this is also, but it's like, because he's like, Casey, stay out of my sight, because like he doesn't want people to like know.
Gonna say that.
But it's just like, he literally cannot help himself. And this is why he told her to stay out of my sight.
Actually, please don't leave. In fact, I'm going to put my arm around you so you cannot.
Yeah. That's why he told her to stay away originally, though, because he knew he would do that. He knows how he acts around her. He has to touch her at all times. Mm-hmm. And it was no exception. And I'm just like, does no one in this freaking kitchen see what's happening right now? Like, hello?
Well, none of them even know who Casey is, basically, at this point.
It's true. They're probably just like, oh, that's another girl that Derek's flirting with. And like, they're just like, whatever.
No.
That's nuts.
That's
nuts, honestly.
Insane. And
so they're saying they're for probably like 3 minutes.
Yeah, they're at least 3 minutes, because like the song changed. Well, I mean, I guess it's not at least 3 minutes, but it's like around 3 minutes, whatever, because I mean, it could have been in the middle of the song and then whatever, whatever.
Who knows? A couple minutes at least.
Yeah. And so, the people had to change out. Like, think about how crazy that is. And so, and then more people coming in, and it's just like, that's just a long time. Like, I mean, anything over 30 seconds is too long to be standing like that. In the middle of the kitchen. Stopped mid-sentence. And I can't. I don't even want to talk about it. And then
I think they accidentally just like entered this state of just like.
Yeah, they're like, wait a second.
They're like, wait, I like this too much. Let's just stand here and
let's just enjoy
see
the
who
view,
tries to leave the situation.
Yeah. Who's gonna back out first?
Yeah. It was like a weird game of chicken they were playing.
And and then
crazy,
even after he detangles himself from her, they just don't stop touching all the way through into the next scene when they're like going into the living room or whatever.
Well, this is where I noted that Derek always takes the narrowest path, is because that's like when he really intently does it, is he steps in front of Casey when she's like literally pretty much up against the island. He walks in between her and the island, and he uses his hand to like he's like touching her hip.
Like on her stomach. He's just he's like, I'm scooting by. And I'm just gonna scoot on by. All right.
Yeah, he's like, it's so much touching. And then Casey's obviously following behind him because she's like mad or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like when they stop in the dining room, because those dudes are like moving the dining room table out of the way.
Which is
their hands,
the worst
their
thing that could have ever happened is the dining room table being
they're
moved.
shocked. The table, that's an immovable object. What are you talking about? But their hands are grazing other. Like, it's giving Pride and Prejudice carriage scene. It's giving
just like
Regency romance.
And you're like, what's going on here? I wish you would stop. I wish you would stop and just.
I really wish they would stop.
I don't even like them. And
I hate them.
wow, you're so. Me too.
Why are we making this podcast?
Oh my god, ew, Daisy, gross.
Bye. But they're constantly. They're together this whole party, literally. And they're always super close to each other. And it's just like. The entire time, and they're unnecessarily close. Even when they're locked in the same room together, they don't have to be that close together.
They don't.
And it's like
the bathroom's actually pretty big for it to be. It is.
Bathroom. Season 1 was a very large bathroom.
Yeah, it definitely got smaller, but it's like, what is happening here? And like the only time that they're not together is when the dude comes in to flirt with Casey, and Derek is flirting with some other girl or whatever.
Right. But even then, they're standing
very close. Like, they're
next to each other pretty much.
Derek and Casey and I said Derek and Casey. Derek and the girl and Casey and the guy are literally back to back, basically.
And even though like they're being separated by the two people they're talking to, Derek and Casey are facing each other. On opposite sides of the people. So it's like they're still like keeping an eye on each other. Like it's absolutely insane.
I can't even
hate it.
Oh my god! He's like, let me go get my dad's. I mean, my tool belt.
My tool belt. Sure, Derek. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, we skipped over the area. Well, I mean, we already mentioned it, but Casey's. I'm trying to get people out of here.
Oh yeah, wait. Actually, I do want to talk about that because something I didn't mention when we were watching it is what. Because what happens is she goes to like turn off the music and she's like, all right, everyone, get out of here, like party's over, sorry, no loot bags. And then Derek comes like rushing over and he's like, no, party on, blah, blah. And then he literally I hate him. He literally like reaches his arm up behind his head and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, Casey, what are you doing? And it looked like he wanted to like, he wanted to touch her, but he instead went like behind his head and was like,
or at least like he was about to lean on something.
Yes,
like I think I've mentioned this already, but it's like, you know, that's his flirt position, right? It's like you gotta lean on something.
Exactly.
And then he like realized who he was talking to, and then he was like, I'm just gonna reach back here or something. My god.
Casey, what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get people out of here.
I'm trying to get people out of here.
And she says it twice in a row.
Yeah, she says it to him, and then Emily comes over and she
says to
like,
Emily,
Emily, I'm trying to get people out of here.
I know, Casey.
She also said it to Derek again in the kitchen, but she said it slower, so it wasn't out of here. It was,
well, get your friends out of here.
She really wanted people out of there.
Yeah, she wants people out of here.
ATTA here.
Out of here. It's like I'm not trying to make fun of Ashley. I love her.
No.
But it's so funny the way she says it. I love it so much.
We talked briefly about like Canadian accents and like just how you can immediately tell when it's a Canadian TV show.
And I sometimes start talking like that. I mean, I live very close to Canada. And
when I went through my Degrassi phase,
Derek, so.
I mean, when I went through my Degrassi phase, like all I did was just changed my entire accent. Like it was really annoying.
Me too.
But it was comforting. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. My mouse host.
So Derek goes, he tells that girl he's gonna get the tool belt because there was like a bit at the beginning of the episode where they're saying that Marty is sticking her gum in the door.
Yeah, her ABC gum as Casey as helpfully points out, already being chewed.
Already being chewed. But it's like, is that a good thing, Casey? Because she's sticking her gum in the bathroom door. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why she was like that. Like,
yeah, she's like, don't worry, she'll put more in there.
Yeah.
So Casey comes into the bathroom while Derek is fixing it.
Yeah.
He's literally just sitting there staring at tools, not doing anything. Yeah, with his back to the door. Like he doesn't even care. Like he's not even trying to fix it at all.
He's not.
And it's like, don't you want to be at your party? Like, what are you doing? And
He doesn't care.
Casey comes in, and also it's weird that Casey slammed the door behind her. Like,
True.
why did she?
Why do you need to be in the bathroom with Derek with the door
Right.
closed?
Like,
Why
it's
did you need to close the door?
Exactly. Why'd you need to close the door? And it's just so she comes in there and she's just like, "We need people out of here." I don't know what she says. But she like is closing the door, and then Derek's like, "Don't close the door." And then,
Don't close the door.
Yeah, but it's like, did he really try? Did he really try to warn her?
Not at all. Not at all.
Did he seem to care? Like,
not at all. He was like, oh no. Look at the consequences of our actions.
No, literally. And I'm like, if you cared that the bathroom door locks that easily, like, why are you just sitting with your back to it, not doing anything to fix it? And you knew Casey would be looking for you.
You would put something like in the door jamb that like stopped it from closing all the way. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That would imply that Derek uses his brain.
So true.
But anyway, so the timestamp is 10:29 p.m. is when the bathroom door officially locks, and we get one of the greatest tropes ever created, which is the forced proximity trope, which can only be beaten by the single bed trope,
which is another type of forced proximity. So it's just like forced proximity overall is just like it's great.
A queen, honestly.
Yeah, we love her.
We love her. She gives us the greatest of scenes.
Yes.
And honestly, Derek and Casey's whole life with Derek is just the forced proximity trope because they're forced to live in the same house together.
So true. I never even thought about that.
This is just like, it's just like closer forced proximity.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this whole theory that I just keep expanding upon, that Derek purposefully locked them in the bathroom, and he knew what he was doing. And like we were just saying, Derek, his back is to the door. He's not actually fixing the door or trying to, even though he should want to get back to his party that he's throwing. And he's like, oh, don't close the door. Oh, shoot, darn. He does want to be locked in the bathroom with Casey. And here are the following pieces of evidence besides the one that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I think the very next scene of them trapped in there is like, well, okay, first of all, Derek pulls on the door to like show Casey that it's locked, right? Yeah. Which anyone can fake trying to open a door. You wouldn't like necessarily know.
Right.
And then he's like, also, oh yeah, you give it a shot or whatever.
When he does it though, he also puts his foot like in front of the door. Like,
yeah. Because he like goes to kick it, but also he's like
he kicks
pushing it like the other way. Yeah, it's really sus. And then he's like, okay, like fine, you do it then.
Yeah.
And then he like once again takes the narrowest path in front of between her and the door, and then stands on the other side. But he doesn't walk that far away. Okay, he's still within reach of the door to like put his foot in front of it. Yeah. And so as soon as Casey goes to try the door, we don't see what's happening down there. Yeah. But she's just like, it won't open.
Leaning on the door.
That's the next scene. Like that's the next scene is Lizzie's trying to open the door, and it's like the door pushes in. Yeah. So it's like you're literally stopping the door from opening. And like Casey's even leaning on it too. So I'm just like, do you guys even want to leave this bathroom? Like you're literally screaming at Lizzie to open the door, but you guys are both putting your entire weight in the door. Like literally. That's so helpful. And so I think that if they tried a little bit harder, if they actually tried, I think the door would have opened. Yeah. Otherwise it's like
there's also actual tools that they have that they could use to open the door.
They literally have a tool belt at their disposal. Yeah, okay,
like they can. The hinges are on the inside of the door. They can unscrew the hinges, and if they can't unscrew the hinges, they can at least pop the hinge part out with a screwdriver and a chisel, or like a chisel and a hammer. You can pop that part out on both the top and the bottom, and then lift up the door and pull it off. Literally. Yep. I don't understand.
Or they could have at least like unscrewed the doorknob. Yes. Or like I know this would have like damaged the door frame a bit, but like they could have even like gotten into like the crevice and like
jimmy it open.
Yeah, because it's like the single bathroom locks are not hard to open at all. You can stick a butter knife in there.
That's the
stick a butter knife in there and the door pops right open. Like it's not that hard.
It's really
and
not.
so I'm just saying, like,
like they didn't try
what's
hard
the
enough.
truth?
They really did not
What's
try.
the truth?
They're like,
but
it's such a shame that we have to be stuck in this bathroom together.
that's the thing is, like, Derek is, like, you know, grumbling about it here and there, but he doesn't seem that upset. Like, he literally tells Casey to just, like, calm down and read a magazine.
Yeah.
And then he just, like, sits down and he's like, oh, guess we're locked in.
Guess
and I'm like,
nothing to do
there's
here.
a party that you're throwing going on downstairs and you don't care that you're missing
Don't care
it.
at all.
And it's like,
yeah. Like, the most he ever said about missing it was,
Party of the year, and we're locked in the bathroom.
and that was the only thing that he said about missing it. And it
because
was,
it was almost like an afterthought. He's like, oh, I have to make it sound like I'm upset about this.
Exactly. He was like, wait a second, feeling too eager about this. I think.
Exactly. And he's just like, oh,
stupid.
darn, I have to be stuck in here with you.
I can't believe it.
And I'm like, I know that Derek obviously doesn't really know how to use tools and stuff, but it's just like, I feel like it's just common sense. Like, you could have tried to do anything to get that door open.
Literally anything.
Because it's like, if George was there, the way he would have gotten you guys out is by using tools. Like, so it's just, and you had the tools. So even if George was home, they had to literally break down the door to get in because you guys had the tools.
Yeah.
And
it honestly didn't seem that hard. Not gonna lie.
No, it didn't. That is exactly what I mean. Like, if they had actually tried, it's so easy to open the door, obviously, and they didn't even freaking try. It's crazy.
They just needed one hockey dude from downstairs to come up and
so true.
At the door.
So true. And it's like he had a cell phone, and it's like, I know that, like, a lot of teenagers didn't have a cell phone back then, so it's like maybe he didn't know who to call downstairs, but it's like they do call Lizzie and Edwin, and then Casey tries to get them to, like, grab Emily to come up and help, and then she's like, oh, calm the crowd and I'll give you my allowance for a month or whatever. But it's like, she doesn't actually tell them to, like, she could have told them to get help from anybody. Like, why specifically Emily, who was no help? Like, she literally
and she already stole the guy that was hitting on Casey. Like,
who she actually directed Casey to. She was like, hey, Casey, look at this cute guy, go flirt with him. And then as soon as Casey's gone, she steals him,
said,
and she's like, I'm gonna
cute, actually. I'm gonna flirt with him.
No, literally, I'm like, disgusting. But anyways, like, Edwin could have grabbed any capable person. It looks like they could have opened a door, right?
100%.
Like, they could have just been like, yo, Derek, especially if you mentioned Derek's name, like, Derek is locked in the bathroom, like, they would have wanted to help. But they didn't suggest that. They didn't do that.
Did not care.
And I'm just like, then why do you even have a cell phone? Like, that's such a freaking waste. Like, they had every tool at their disposal to get out of the bathroom, and they didn't use any of them.
Nothing.
Oh, also, I was gonna say, when he, like, sits down and he's talking about, like, oh, just, like, read a magazine or whatever. Which, by the way, it's funny because it's like Derek is constantly just like, calm down, and we know Casey. It makes Casey way angrier. But we thought that Derek was sitting on a toilet. And we can't be the only ones that thought
it
this.
Was like a Mandela effect. It felt like a Mandela effect. It was like, and the only reason I realized that it wasn't, well, I went back and watched it, but I was like, I didn't even realize that I thought he was sitting on a toilet until I was looking at where Casey was sitting, which was in front of a toilet, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's where the toilet is. And then I was like,
toilet is, right.
Wait a second. Where was Derek sitting earlier?
You literally, you said, wait, pause. We paused the episode. You're like, are there two toilets in the bathroom? He's just sitting on, like, a stool to reach the sink or something like that. Like
it's a step stool. Yep.
Step. Anyway, they're not two toilets. They're not, millionaires. Okay. So, okay. The next timestamp is 11:01.
Love that.
So it is roughly a half hour later. And they're sitting down across from each other. This was after, like, George had called. He picked up the phone and then made up a horrible excuse. Lord of the Lies, my ass.
No friends, just a small study group.
Which they immediately turned around when he said that.
He's like, you don't study, so.
And she, like, smacks his foot and she's like, you're stupid.
Yeah,
like,
she literally does. That? Yeah, that's true. One of the few instances that she reaches out to him.
I think that his brain was like, he was looking directly at Casey, and then his brain was like, I don't know words.
Yeah, he really was. He's like, I don't know what to say. I wanted to be in the bathroom with Casey, so that's...
Exactly. And he's like, that's all. I only know how to say the truth right now.
I only know this.
I only know the truth. And so they're sitting across from each other like this on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Derek once again tells Casey to calm down.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I hate when people tell me to calm down. Makes me very tense.
Calm down.
Calm down? I hate it when people tell me to calm down. It makes me very tense.
Casey, put that down.
Make me.
And then she picks up the water pick.
Mm-hmm. Derek's
which
pride and joy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that the reason Derek freaked out so much, he was like, Casey, put that down, is because he's like, Casey, that costs a lot of money and I need it for my teeth. And if you break it, I'm going to cry. Because why would you be afraid of it's basically just a tiny squirt gun. Like, why would you be afraid of that?
Yeah, he's like, put that down. I don't want water on me.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to get cavities.
Yeah, literally. Derek is obsessed with his teeth. So
he is. So I think that's why he freaked out, because otherwise he wouldn't care. But then she's like, make me, and then he's like, fine, but prepare to be shampooed.
Fine. Don't. But prepare to be shampooed.
I've seen your bathroom aim before. No way you hit the target.
Oh, I remember like Ashley talking about the scene and being so mad that Michael like squirted the shampoo directly.
They told him not to. They were like, no, don't squirt it in her face.
And then he tried to defend himself. He was like, the trajectory, like push the shampoo up or something. I'm like, bitch, no. And then I'm like, wait, did you guys actually use shampoo? Like, shouldn't you have used a different product?
Yeah, that's true.
Once again, they were on a budget. They were balling on a budget.
Yeah,
so
true.
They had to use real shampoo. But anyways, then they immediately start wrestling, just like they did for the remote. Also, they had just wrestled like 5 seconds ago because Casey tried to pull the cell phone out of Derek's hand, which got very physical. It was only like a 5-second fight, but it was so physical. It was so physical. I'm like, you guys are ridiculous, actually.
It's like, I know that you're locked in a room together, but like, calm down. This is a bit much for the 3rd episode of the entire series.
They never knew how to act.
They really did.
It's like you lock a door and all hell breaks loose.
That's why everyone wanted to lock them in the games closet.
Well, I was just thinking, I was like, they weren't locked in, but the room, they were forced to be down in the basement together. And like, they were like, you can't come out until you guys get along or whatever. Yeah. But I'm just like, that's when the circling happened. I'm just like, things get very tense when they
were yelling at each other at some point.
Can you take the basement so I can eat? But anyways,
I'm hungry.
Too bad.
I'm hungry. Too bad. Can you just take the basement so I can eat?
But it's like, we should have gotten more. I mean, okay, honestly, I shouldn't be asking for more because the show was forced proximity and we got lots of forced proximity. But I'm just like, I just love being locked in a room together. I feel like we need more of that. I don't even care if it was repetitive.
I want endless amounts of that. Thank you.
Endless amounts. The whole show, it's called Locked In with Derek.
It's literally just
every episode. Oh, it would have been so good if Life of Derek had like come back as a pandemic show. Oh my freaking gosh.
God, that would be so
That would have been iconic. But yeah, they wrestle around, fight. It's all like sped up, and we don't know how long they've been fighting because the next time they cut to after the fight and they show the next timestamp is 12:04 p.m. p.m.
So we go from 11:31 p.m. to 12:04 p.m.
Yeah, and the door got locked at 10:30, so that means that they've been in the bathroom for like almost 14 hours. And you guys didn't kiss? What are you talking about?
That seems impossible.
Anyway, we know that it was 12 a.m. and they messed up, but you know,
it's so funny.
They never fixed it, and it's actually hilarious.
It's so funny. I love that.
So 12:04 p.m. And once again, this is when they cut to Derek and Casey talking on the floor next to the toilet, which is how the very, very beginning of the episode started.
Yes, exactly.
And we have no idea how the fight stopped, how long they've been having a normal conversation. We don't know anything.
Yeah, like I want to say, I just want to go back really quick to the monologue where she says,
How did this happen? How does a person who prides herself on being in total control lose it? Why am I sitting on the bathroom floor? Why is there an out-of-control party in my living room? The answer to all of these questions could only be Derek.
I mean, she's right.
So she's literally what she just said is the answer to the question, how could someone who prides herself in being in control lose it?
Yeah.
The answer to that question is Derek.
But it's just, okay, but Casey's monologue says, like, oh, how did this happen? But it's like, literally, how did this happen? Like, we know how they got locked in the bathroom. We know why they got in a fight.
Yeah.
How did it happen that you guys now are calmly sitting on the bathroom floor just talking to each other like normal people? How did that happen?
How did that happen?
No answers were given. No answers were given to us.
Nope.
Might as well be, how are Derek and Casey in bed together in the first episode of Live Derek Again? We don't know. And we'll never know. Truly, the wrestling scene in the bathroom is so crazy. Like, in and out of laps. Just laps on top of more laps.
Yeah, rolling around. Just rolling around on
Literally
the floor.
Around. Like it's a damn Girls Gone Wild mud wrestling pit or some shit. Okay, and then all of a sudden they just stop and they're like, "Let's have a heart to heart." Like,
yeah. We need to know what happened in between there. Like, hello, how did you get from A to B? How did you get from rolling around on the floor, attacking each other, and also like literally not letting go of each other?
Especially if the fight starts at 11:01, and the heart to heart is at 12. Is time stamp at 12:04. There's a whole hour?
Yeah.
I know they were wrestling for an hour. You cannot wrestle with somebody for an hour. Okay.
That's insane.
What happened?
You can't do that. So, hello? I mean, there's only so much shampoo in the bottle.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you're going to run out of resources. You're going to get exhausted just because of how physically you're going to get tired in like 30 seconds. Like,
that we need the fan fiction gap.
We do. Somebody just write the gap, please. They're one shot.
I'm sure they have. There's probably so many of them. Probably
send it to us if you have one. I would prefer a one shot, but I'm also not going to complain if I have to read 30 chapters. It's totally fine.
Yeah, totally.
But anyway, just that's crazy. The unaccounted for time is crazy. Like hello. Does anyone want to chime in on that? Thank you so much. I know you won't because you don't tell us anything.
I am wearing a robe now because I'm freezing.
The lighting is completely changed, and I'm sorry about my audio for the past 5 minutes. It is now better, and I definitely didn't just leave for 2 hours and come back.
It is. Yeah, I was gonna say it is not 2 hours later, and everything's
the sun is out. What a beautiful day.
It's out, and it's definitely still.
We did the time lapse. Yeah, we did the time lapse that happened in the party. Yeah. It is now 12:04 p.m.
It's 12:04 p.m.
the next day. So we were talking about, speaking of 12:04 p.m. is what we were talking about, where Derek and Casey were having their little chat and the missing gap of time. That is greatly upsetting. I also wrote here, I know we already talked about like it's forced proximity trope, but I just want to say that like the forced proximity trope is like, it's not wasted on Derek and Casey because it's used throughout the entire series. But I'm just like, it's a tool to implement closeness. And while that was achieved briefly for like 30 seconds, afterwards everything just went back to normal. And it's just like, what is the point? Like, what's the point? And I know the writers are never going to be like, we're doing a romance trope. Obviously not. Right. But it's like, well, I don't know. Jeff wrote it. Who knows? But,
Who knows?
But I'm just like, why would you? Why?
Yeah, why did this happen?
What's the
Thank
point?
you.
And I hate to bring this up, but Life with Derek again would have been both
Yep.
forced proximity and the one bed trope, and it was, and it is somewhere
And
out
it
there.
is in
And it is,
in a different
wherever it
universe. Well, it's actually this universe in which it is, but
It's
we just
true.
didn't get to see it.
Yeah, it's just a page in some people's drawers now.
Yeah, please.
Truly, I will
wanna
never
see it.
stop asking where the fuck that script is. Can we read it? Thanks so much.
Need it.
I think we deserve it. I will go so far as to say we deserve it.
We deserve it.
This is our full-time job. Our jobs just our hobbies. This is our full-time unpaid job.
Yeah, it's like I do have a full-time and a part-time job, and then I also have another full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is this.
And we don't get any friggin' respect over here. Speaking of jobs that aren't ours, I talked to Roku if nobody saw, and because the season 1 episodes are all out of whack, and I was like, "Yo, the titles and also the screenshots and everything do not match up with what actually plays." And so they were like, "Oh, we'll fix it, but it's probably gonna take like 3 months." So
yeah, it's so true.
eventually it'll be fixed. But anyway, they were very helpful. So go support Life with Derek and go support Roku. Thank you so much. It's free. It's
Thank you.
free.
Oh my god, thank
Did
you.
you guys know that it's free to watch Life with Derek
Yeah.
on both Amazon Freevee and Roku? That's crazy.
Wow, actually, go watch
Oh my
Life with
God.
Derek. If you're missing Life with Derek, go watch it on Amazon
Go watch it.
Freevee
You
or
have no
Roku.
excuse unless you're in a different country, and then I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually,
Thank you very much. Sorry about that
also-
side tangent.
we want Life with Luca. So
And also, we want Life with Luca. So I guess we could talk a little bit about the actual heart to heart, because I mean, okay, hang on.
okay,
Because but don't hang on at all.
I'm hanging on. I'm hanging
But
on.
actually,
For dear
hang on to
life.
something.
I'm hanging on to
hang on,
your
hang
life.
on to something. Hang on to your butts. So Casey,
We got it.
Casey literally reaches out. I feel like actually never mind.
I'm sorry. I'm holding onto my butt, and you're gonna say, "Never mind." I don't think.
I just wanted to see if you do it, and then I was like, okay, she did.
No, I don't
Gotta
think so.
go.
No, I don't think so.
So okay, we open on the scene right where we have this missing hour of time and we don't know what happened.
Mhm.
And the first thing we see is Casey like shove her hand in Derek's face like really playfully, and it's like they're sitting this close to each other in a bathroom that's bigger than any bedroom I've ever had.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
why are you so close to each other right now?
You guys so close to each other. How did you just stop fighting?
Yeah.
Why are you guys like BFFs right now and you're like joking around?
Yeah.
And what happened? And then they just start to be like, oh, well, this wouldn't have happened and blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
They kind of talk about what they did at the beginning of the episode, which is like why this happened.
Yeah.
And then Derek is like, I'm living down to expectations. And then he's literally so upset because George has no faith in him.
And I promised my mom everything would be fine. She's gonna be so disappointed in me.
Yeah, I promised my dad too. Guess I'm living down to expectations.
And honestly, it's the only time I've been upset with George.
Yeah.
I don't take that lightly.
I know. It's hard to be upset with George, really.
It is. And you know what? I mean, I'm not like a parent or anything, but it's like I understand George because because literally Derek proved his point immediately.
I mean, Derek did do something wrong.
Yeah, so it's like not like George was wrong,
No.
but it's also just like Derek already senses that his dad knew that this would happen.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to do it anyway because that's what he assumes I'm going to do type of thing.
So
and
true.
it's like he looks really like upset about it. Well, this is after we talked a little bit about how he said like sorry.
Yeah.
Way earlier.
Sorry.
Way earlier. I don't even know.
It's official. You've driven me crazy.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a far drive. I can't believe you just laughed at that. I heard that one from Edwin. Guess I have driven you crazy.
Oh,
Did you say sorry? And then he's like, no.
Did you just say sorry? Sorry?
Did you say sorry? No. Why would I?
No.
Because you did.
Wait, did you just say sorry?
No? Why would I?
Also,
He says that to Sally.
yes.
I knew I loved you for a reason.
Did you just say that you loved me?
What? No.
That's fine. And
Ew.
so we sort of get an apology there, but then it's like he does the Derek thing, and he's like,
He's like, nope, I didn't do that. Actually,
immediately
and then,
gaslights her.
yeah.
And then like they hear a crash, I think, and then they're like,
Like,
you don't
oh,
think
the cops clear out
do you?
place.
Yeah. There we go again.
Better than our parents.
I don't remember their parents. And you know what? As soon as she said that, I was thinking earlier, I was like, you should have called the cops from Derek's
Yeah.
phone. Like, he was like, okay, don't call our parents. And I'm like, okay, we'll call the cops. Like, they'll break up the party right away.
Yeah.
And then hopefully your parents will just never find out that happened.
I don't know about that one.
Also, they're stuck. Yeah, I was like, they're still stuck in the bathroom because they refuse to use common sense to get out.
Well, they could say to the cops that they were stuck in the bathroom, and then the cops could probably break down
It's true. The cops would probably like check the house, and they'd be like, hey, we're stuck in here.
Or, I mean, when they call the police to tell them about the party.
Yeah, like, come upstairs. Yeah. They just don't tell them that. And why would they? Because Derek wants to be trapped in there with Casey.
Yeah, he would. You're right. You know what?
Hangs up.
You know what?
He hangs up in Casey's like, Derek, why didn't you tell them we're stuck in the bathroom? He's like, guess I forgot.
Slipped my mind. Kind of forgot about that part.
It's an easy thing to forget, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I thought you wanted to be in here with me. I thought we were having a good time.
Yeah, it's like, they are having a good time.
They are. They literally just had fun. All they did was just like have a fun little fight, and then had a little laugh, and then they're having jokes, they're having a laugh. Yeah, the reality of the fact that their step siblings came barely.
Yeah, no, as the blue screen where they're like so dramatic. Where they're like, oh my god,
and it's like,
we've been caught. That's our version of voguing. And it's just like, yeah, what did you expect? Like, obviously they came home.
Yeah.
Because your lie was terrible. Well, he says, you know what? He lied because he's Derek, I trusted you and you really let me down or whatever. But he didn't trust him. He never trusted him.
Well, he said, I really went to bat for you. So
I went to bat for you. Okay, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
so he
but
says,
did he though? Did he actually go to bat for him?
we didn't see it, but
It's true.
I believe that like it was probably like Nora was like, I don't know if we can trust Derek to
He probably
do
ended
this.
up convincing Nora, but to Derek's face, he's just like,
yeah, now he's
you're a bad son.
Actually, you're horrible at this. Because and we didn't say this in the beginning, but when Nora is on the couch, squatted, and she's like to Casey, she says like,
Casey, you have always been responsible.
Well, and then George says to Derek,
Derek, you've always been good at sports.
yeah, Derek's sad. Derek's so sad about that.
Yeah.
He was like, oh,
it was upsetting.
my God. And so that's how you know, actually. Like, we shouldn't have skipped over that because that's literally how you know.
That's the most pivotal one.
Yeah, that's how you know that he was not lying to Casey. When he said,
I don't know. It's like people expect me to mess up, so I do.
The thing is, it could be argued that, like, sure, Derek might have known if he laid on the sympathy extra thick, like, Casey would take the fall for him because he does predict a lot of things she does. Like, he's very good at that.
Right.
But I really don't think that he was thinking about that in that moment.
I don't think so either. I agree, because I don't think he was even thinking that the parents would, like, I feel like he was really thinking he was going to get out of it in some way.
Yeah.
Still, like, I think he just, like, they would have, something would have happened that would have been avoiding that.
They would have kissed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then he's like, actually, I don't even care if I get in trouble as long as I get to kiss Casey.
Okay, but like, if the timestamp was real and they actually were in there for like a whole day, like, who knows what would happen?
There's literally no way they don't kiss in that scenario.
There's no way. There's no way.
There's no way. Like, that's why, like I said, everyone wanted them to be locked in the games closet. And there were so many fics where it's like, yeah, or I don't even know, like, there were some fics, but it wasn't even really just fics. It was just everyone being like, lock them in the games closet and let them go at it because they literally will make out. Like, there's no way.
I almost feel like that's another instance where like maybe the writers like saw fan fictions or something, because like they gave us Truman as like a compromise for Derek, and then they put Derek and Emily in the games closet, and I'm just like, none of this is the same thing. None of this is right.
This is the worst possible
like, you're
scenario.
pissing us off more than we've already been pissed off.
It's actually way worse than if you didn't give us Stacey. Like, or you know what I mean? Than if you just didn't give us Stacey or whatever and let them be single. Like, it's worse.
It's like we don't want a like a freaking compromise on this. We just want.
I didn't want a Derek wannabe. I didn't want Casey to be dating a Derek wannabe. And I didn't want Derek to be dating Emily because they literally never. I mean, she obviously was obsessed with him, but he literally never showed any interest in her. Like, yes, they actually kissed multiple times, but like that just shows you that there was no interest, because
exactly, it's like, how do you kiss somebody multiple times and you guys still
and not ever dating, quite literally never dating, because they did it both times to bother other people.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
And one of them was Casey. One of the times was Derek trying to bother Casey.
And honestly, low key, the other one was probably just a little bit.
For sure. Exactly. So like, he was trying to bother Kendra and Casey.
Yeah, he's like, oh, bonus, Casey's also standing right there.
Exactly.
So it's like, they just didn't make sense. And then, like, as we see in future edits, it's like he literally forgets about her right after graduating.
Immediately.
I'm gonna go flirt with all these girls in college, and I'm like, okay, cool. I guess you broke up with Emily immediately after graduation. Sick.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about Derek.
Okay, so they are. Sorry about our side Emily tangent. We're both named Emily, and we just had to do it. So.
Yes, totally.
After this.
I really hope that everyone knows your name is Emily after this.
Right. That is my name.
Knows the truth that your name is
after Derek and Casey vogue, they go to the living room. And Nora and George are just like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys.
Yeah. And they're sitting on the couch together.
Like, they're sitting on the couch together. And Casey is kind of doing a female version of manspreading. Like, she's sitting she is. And Derek's sitting actually normally, and her legs are in his space. Okay?
Yes, 100%.
They're both getting like chastised, and they're like, yeah, we expected this. Well, actually, Casey gets indignant because George says the comment about like, Patty just liked our story. Patty Leggett, I just want to say, Patty's a legend.
Patty is amazing. We love Patty.
Anyways, I got distracted.
We are Patty stans.
We are Patty stans, actually. We have a separate account. It's at. No, I'm just kidding. But Casey looks upset when George tells Derek that he really let him down.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey's like, wait a second. She's like, don't you talk to my boy like that.
She literally was, and actually it's so funny because, and she's like,
wait, why do you assume it was all Derek's fault? Maybe I had something to do with the party.
What?
What? You had something to do with this?
And she didn't.
She didn't at all. She
100% did not. And so...
And the part though where Nora's just like, you had something to do with this, and then she looks at Derek and they share this like secret moment.
Yeah.
Or well, he's like waiting like with bated breath.
He's not even looking. He's not looking at her. He's literally just like he's like looking at her like leg or something.
It's like he's afraid to look at her because he feels like if he looks at her, she'll look at him and be like, "You're a dishonest person. I'm not taking the fall for you."
Yeah. And she like kind of looks over.
Yes.
It's like she decides it. Like she literally looks over Derek, who still looks pathetic, by the way, even though she can't look directly at him. And she's just like, you know what? Yeah.
I did.
I would take the fall for this man because I love him and I just don't know.
And I'm in love. And
I'm in love and I won't know for a very long time.
Yeah, she won't know at all. She's so oblivious.
Yeah, literally. I don't think we've ever seen Casey realize anything. No. So sad. But she takes the fall, and I think Derek, I mean, these are like the times I wish we could just like see inside Derek's head because it's so like
true.
He even says,
Casey.
It's okay. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, I do. You really surprised me tonight.
And I think he genuinely meant that. And
I agree.
And because the moment got too heavy as soon as he said that, he's like,
oh, wait.
Can't believe that he bought my sob story.
And then,
where does his hand go? Oh, I don't know.
His hand went. His hand went. I can't believe you disappears.
Yes.
Like literally, you can hear it.
You're such a sucker.
And it's like, okay.
And her legs were like in his space. Like there's no way that he didn't hit her leg.
Yeah.
At some part of her
there's
leg.
no room on the couch. He can't hit the couch.
There was no space. So it was literally like, can't believe you bought my sob story. And
his hand was like there for a second.
And it's like, why?
Casey looked like you did, Justin. She was like, and we can't tell whether it's because of Derek's hand placement or because Derek literally said that he lied to her. Probably both.
Mm-hmm.
It's rude that he flipped the popcorn on his way out.
Yeah,
that's fucking
that was messed up. That was messed up.
She has enough to clean up. Thank you.
Exactly. And then he walks up the stairs.
He leaves. He had to leave. He had to get out of there because it was like
he's like, "Whoops, didn't mean to touch her leg."
He just had a heart-to-heart with Casey in the bathroom, and then like to have another one with her on the couch while I think that what broke the illusion was like the parents were home. Yeah. And it was like so he was like talking to her like how he did in the bathroom, and then he was like, oh shit, like everyone's home now.
Wait.
Oh god, gotta go.
I forgot.
And then he freaked out. Yeah, exactly. And then he freaked out and he left too over dramatically, and Casey was just like, why did I ever think that Derek and I could be friends?
Yep.
1 step forward, 3 steps back, honestly. And
as always with them. As always is the
and it's
case.
always Derek's fault.
True.
I hate to place blame, but
it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. It's both their faults, but it's just
true.
like
true.
You know, they just
for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, for different reasons. But yeah, so he leaves Casey to clean up everything. And then Casey is a boss bitch, and she's like, "Hey, guess what?
Derek, I cleaned the living room. The least you can do is take out the trash."
Fine.
Here it is.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's like so like it's like hi. Like what are you
Wait. You know what's actually crazy about that? Like,
what?
I mean, Casey has changed her outfit, but I'm assuming it's because she had shampoo all over herself.
Yeah.
But it was already past midnight when she started cleaning.
Right.
So it's like probably like fucking 2 a.m. And why is Derek just sitting on his bed reading a comic book or whatever?
True,
like
actually.
he literally stayed up because Casey was still up. And
You're
he
right.
held guilt probably.
So true.
And then she comes in and she's like, she dumps the trash all over his head.
All over his bed and his head. And it's like
And his head and his body and everywhere. And she will do it again.
And then she
later.
leaves and she goes,
Sucker.
And then Sucker by Jonas Brothers plays out the end credits.
I'm a sucker for you.
Totally came out at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Just proving once again that Derek has met his match, and that's why he's in love with her, because no one else
Oh my god.
treats Derek like that.
I want to die, actually.
Same. And we died while watching this again.
Oh, wait. I did die. Yeah. I forgot
Oh,
about
wait.
that. Oh, wait.
We're constantly ghosts.
I died. I forgot.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh my god. My obituary says died by Derek and Casey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cause of death.
Like, naturally,
Daisy.
please come to the funeral and read out Life of Derek Again script, or Christina will haunt you. I mean, Emily will haunt you. That's my name.
Yeah, wait, who's Christina? I've never heard of her before.
Sorry, that's my cousin. I put a little brief note at the bottom where it just said, Paul is on Derek's side. He also tells Casey to loosen up and therefore ships him because he knows Derek will balance Casey out.
Oh yeah, we forgot because like when he's my god, we skipped the entire Living Dangerously scene.
Literally, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us, actually? I didn't write it down because I was like, why would I write that down?
Right.
Why would I write that down? But that's when the Paul like flashback scene happens, right? During that time. He's like,
it's right
when he
after
asked
that.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
this is right after the hand brush in the dining room.
I can't believe we forgot
Then
this.
they're walking out. And then
I'm upset.
it's fine because we saved the best for last.
Yeah, so true. Actually, yeah, you're right.
But Casey is like he's really trying to get her to
like,
enjoy the party.
Yes, exactly.
Like he's not at no point is he trying to kick her out. He just, even when she like is trying to like tell people to leave, he looks really sad and he's like, why can't you just have fun? Like he wants her to have fun. Like,
yes.
Did you throw this party for you or for her? Like, who knows?
Yeah, he said, why can't you just have fun?
Yeah. Like, he literally wants her to have fun is what he's saying.
Yes.
So it's just like anyways. So he's just like, you're 15 going on 50.
Come on, lighten up. You're 15 going on 50.
And then he leans seductively against the back of the couch and she's just like, okay, rude. And then he's like, come on, Casey. But just the come on, Casey.
Come on, Casey. Don't you ever want to live a little dangerously?
Don't you ever want to live a little dangerously?
And when he says dangerously, he like leans back more. He's like, dangerously. And then Casey looks at him like, why'd you say it like that?
She literally was. Like, she was like, I'm bashful.
He's like, are you trying to seduce me because it's working?
Yeah, she's like, the only time it's ever worked on me right now.
But it really did work because it triggered her memory with Paul. Yes. And then Paul was literally telling her to loosen up and be like a normal teenager.
Yes.
So if like Casey had went to Paul and told him about the situation, Paul would have been like, oh, well, good for Derek. Like,
yeah, like
I think he's right. And you should have had fun. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe not the party situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, obviously, but
he's like, he'd be like, yeah, he has the right idea, you know?
Right, he just executed it poorly.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes down to it, I think Paul definitely tries to get Casey to see Derek's perspective whenever she comes in complaining about him and stuff. Yeah. So he just knows. And then like immediately they're pretty much locked in the bathroom. Which I feel like she had a better time in the bathroom than she did at any other point during that party.
So true.
We've been driven crazy.
Wasn't a far
And let
drive.
me tell you, it wasn't a far
I remember some BTS information for us, but for us, about us. When we watched
about us,
about us. When we watched this episode, not most recently, but like a while
One of the
ago.
times we watched it, yeah. We've seen this multiple times.
Yeah, and for so long we just kept saying.
What?
We kept saying it wasn't a far drive.
Sometimes I still say that, but you have to say it to something that makes
Doesn't make
absolutely
sense
no sense at all. And be like, oh well, I don't even know an example, but just try it. Someone can say something to you, you don't know how to answer, just say, well, it wasn't a far drive.
Right.
Just end of conversation.
I'm really hungry. Well, it wasn't a far drive.
Well, it wasn't a far drive, exactly. You know what? But in all seriousness, like we really have been driven crazy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that it wasn't a far drive. We never got in the car. Yeah. Like we were already at the destination.
It's just in the air.
Yeah. And here we are. Here we are absorbing the crazy and broadcasting it to you for free. Enjoy it.
Yeah, we don't need to be driven crazy because we are already there.
Yeah, and to be clear, it is Derek and Casey's fault.
And it is their fault. And honestly, wouldn't have it any other way.
So true. So true. Otherwise, why would we be doing this for a year for no pay?
It's funny because it's like, okay, we've been doing this for a year, but how long have we loved Life with Derek? I
remember like
I'm trying to do the math for some reason.
Joy asked us that question when we talked to her on the live, and then I was like counting. I was like, I think like 16 years, and then I was like 16. I was like, that's older than how we meet Derek and Casey. Like that's actually crazy.
I'm gonna die.
But anyway, It's fine. And we'll still be here for another 16 years and another 106 years.
Actually, so true.
As ghosts.
Yeah, because we have already died, so.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But we'll be here haunting everybody until they give us life with Luca. Stacy.net/resources, everybody. We literally lost the goddamn plot. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Get my thingy. I gotta go get my thingy.
Next month, we have a fun episode. I always call them fun, but honestly, this one, it's a good time. I'm talking about next month's episode.
Oh, yeah.
Next month is a doozy.
It's a doozy.
You guys are gonna love it.
It's a big one. A big one.
It's a big one.
It's probably gonna be pretty long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this one might be as well. And
yeah. You know what? I don't care.
Actually, I don't care. I'm not sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna talk for as long as I want. About Daisy.
Okay. We have your force field. It's activated. Goodbye.